hasn't been worked out yet. I think a proposal is one of our goals as writers in this project. You are one of many voices that we've heard from Mr. Moore. You give us a business voice because you hold a position that has been currently created within the last few years, and it's not a job that we typically think of in traditional settings. So that's why we're out to change our setting to hopes to get jobs like yours and those that have not even been created yet.
Right.
Mr. Moore, we can ask you to maybe tell us a little bit about what you do, and then we'll start whatever you want to do. I know you've got some things to share with us, Q&A, however you want to do it. We'll turn it over to you. Thanks for being here.
Certainly. Well, from the introduction, my name is Eric Moore. I work for State Farm in the innovation department. I've got a PowerPoint that's pretty lengthy. It's got some cool stuff in it. I shared it with my son Logan last night. He's going to be in the second period, I think, and he thought it was pretty cool and addresses some of the things that you guys are looking at, like what should presentations look like, what should you put on them, what are the big hitters, that type of thing. So not only does the PowerPoint really describe what my area does, I'm going to be giving this same presentation to another group within State Farm on Monday. They asked for us to come around and do that type of thing. But so we'll show you kind of what it is that we do, not in a nutshell, a big nutshell, but then also open it up for questions type of thing. As far as this particular department, or as far as I'm concerned, yes, I am a innovation analyst is my short title. Technically, I am on the ideation team, and I work with strategic foresight, focusing on life, health, and wellness initiatives to better our company as well as our customers, which is a big, long mouthful that people do to justify their paychecks in a lot of situations. But as far as the innovation department itself is concerned, we'll just kind of get rolling with this. If you want to stop me at any time and ask questions either about the presentation, because I definitely want to get to your questions. But first I need to be able to find, where's the pointy thing? Cool. All right. State Farm and our innovation team. Everybody has to have a mission. And I don't know if you guys have developed a mission or not. Logan shared a little bit what it is that you're trying to do. But you need to have something that's very powerful that when somebody reads it, they know exactly what it is that you want. What do you want and what are you going to do with it if you get it? Because just saying, I want 10 grand so that I can have a fancy PowerPoint board. Okay, great, I want 10 grand too, but I'm not gonna get it by asking that way. How is that gonna be a benefit? As far as our innovation team is concerned, through collaboration, creativity, and an entrepreneurial spirit, we will create new and differentiated opportunities for State Farm to add value, deepen relationships with customers, lower operational costs, and generate revenue. Boom, we win. If we do that, we win, bottom line, right? If you read that, you understand what we're trying to get at. Not that it's gonna be easy, but that's what we're trying to get out of it. And that's what we will do. So, department goals, that's gonna drill it down a little bit. That mission statement is your big, broad, what everybody's trying to do. As far as the department does, we monitor technological marketplace, customer trends, identify strategic implications and recommendations. Okay, so we search lots of things out. We create innovative core product. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. And service offerings that add customer value. So what? It's benefit to the customer. It's not just making us money, but that is part of it. It is a business, okay? For you guys, a little bit different. It's not about generating money for you. It's about creating an environment where you can learn better so that you can then contribute more. So it's more about you giving back than about you getting stuff. If you can prove that to people or show that to people, they're gonna think it's a better idea. Team structure, not that big of a deal for you guys. Basically, it's State Farm. Anybody know anybody that works at State Farm? Right on. Anybody know what they do at State Farm? There you go, all the hands go down in a lot of situations. What do? They get up in the morning, they go to work, they come home, they get a paycheck, they get benefits, yay. So lots of different jobs at State Farm. State Farm's a big hitter in the Bloomington Normal area because that's where our corporate headquarters is. You go 300 miles away, okay, they're the guys who sell auto insurance or home insurance. It's not that big of an impact. It is here because we employ a lot of people. We bring a lot of money to the community. But other places, we're just another company. But as far as innovation is concerned, basically the idea was that we'll create an environment where we can make changes. We've been a company that's been around for 90 years. We've been doing things the same way for 90 years. If you keep doing things the same way, is it going to be beneficial? Bottom line, no. from education to business. I mean, when you think about the businesses that were big ones and had been around for a long time, Blockbuster, Radio Shack, anything like that. Do you see any Blockbusters anymore? No. Why not? Because they didn't change. Times changed, they didn't. We figured out that if we don't change, we're not going to be around either, okay? So not good for the company, not good for me and my family, so we want to figure out a way to do that. We're going to do that a few different ways. One of the things that we look at is what we call core, okay, our core business. Anybody know what type of products or services State Farm sells? Anybody? Insurance, right. To insure what? What are you going to insure? Home and automobile, that's the big one, okay? Those are our huge ones. Auto, we have 26.4 million households insured under auto, okay? That's a whole bunch. We also sell lots of other things, but it's those core products that are gonna be easiest for us to impact. One, because there's a lot of money there, and there's a lot of changes that need to be made. So we can make those kind of faster and cheaper than going out and saying, okay, we're innovation, we wanna make a teleporter. Well, okay, that would be super cool. It's a lot easier to change your auto insurance than it is to make a teleporter. So core is really what we've been impacting the most these last 5 years. Adjacent means things that are kind of close to those core offerings. So Stephen had mentioned home and auto. We also sell life insurance, we sell financial products, mutual funds, bank, that type of thing. Health products we also sell. When we look at adjacent, those are things that are kind of close to auto, but maybe not exactly your auto policy or just insuring your car. They might take a little bit longer, they might be a little bit more far-fetched, and they might be a little bit more difficult to complete. We might be off as far as what it is we're trying to accomplish. And then finally, we have our new frontier. Okay, that's your out there, that's your teleporters. That's things that we don't currently do. It's gonna be harder for us as a business to get into that. So as far as your classroom is concerned, you guys wanna make a nice innovative area. If you're gonna make that innovative area so that you can raise goats, okay, that's gonna throw people off, okay? So as you're making those value propositions, that's one of the things that you need to think about. What is the big goal? More State Farm-y stuff, really just kind of talking about all the things that we do. Those are all the different areas that we can impact or that my group can impact. I said earlier that I work primarily with life, health, and wellness. I also work with auto, I also work with residential, I also work with bank. But my primary focus is going to be that life, health, wellness stuff. Now the way that we're set up, I'm over here in the strategic foresight area. Okay, so ideas get generated. I am with the group that generates a lot of the ideas, sifts through a lot of the ideas, and then recommends them. And so basically, it's kind of like any other check and balance system. It comes in at the beginning of what we call the funnel. And we take ideas, figure out if it's going to be good or not. Figure out if there is what we call a customer value proposition, meaning, are the customers going to want it? Is there a company value proposition? Is it going to be good for everybody? Are we going to be able to get it through the market? So that's what my group does over here. We write a lot of business proposals, that type of thing. We get this idea, is it going to be good? We flesh it out, figure out if it's going to work or not. If it's not going to work, then we kill it. And we push it off to the side and we work on the next thing. If we think it is going to work, it goes to the next group. Concept Dev. They develop those concepts a little bit more. Because my group is a room full of about 20 people, and I lovingly refer to us as freaks, okay? It's the weirdos from the Bloomington Normal area. I know some people used to be in our weirdo group and they're not anymore. But they think differently. We don't think the same traditional way. The same traditional way that we've been thinking doesn't get us anything new. And that's what you guys are trying to do, right? You don't want to go through and learn exactly the same way people have been learning for 50 years. You want to learn a new way. There's new technologies. But anyway, then it goes on by. So Concept Dev, they develop that concept so that, okay, yeah, that makes more sense. No, that doesn't make sense. It pivots. Because you might have what you think is a great idea, and it's a good idea, but if you tweak it a little bit, it'll be even better. So they prototype things, and then it keeps on going on down through the funnel, and eventually, if it works out, it's going to go out to market. I have a video.
The innovation team looks down the road and dreams about the possibilities, like a world without car-related injuries and fatalities. Many of the auto manufacturers have the same dream. Volvo claims by 2020, nobody will be seriously injured or killed in a new Volvo. That would be amazing. Over the last decade, automakers and legislators have made it an imperative to improve driver safety. Because human behavior contributes to an estimated 99% of traffic accidents, Technologies such as blind spot detection and adaptive cruise control have significantly reduced traffic fatalities. And we've all heard about the future of self-driving cars. Well, the future is here right now. In California, Google's fleet of autonomous vehicles continues to log thousands of miles. The 2014 Mercedes-Benz S-Class will be capable of autonomous driving in certain situations. And GM's Cadillac division also expects to mass market partially autonomous cars within the next few years. Not only will there be self-driving cars on our roads, nearly every car will be its own mobile broadband environment. That's like a smartphone on wheels. By 2020, an estimated 90% of cars will be connected to the internet. And in the not-too-distant future, vehicles could have the ability to communicate directly with other vehicles and infrastructure, potentially allowing for reduced traffic congestion and improved safety. What does this all mean to State Farm? We're actively evaluating the advances in technology and identifying opportunities that may arise. We'll be ready for these changes, which are right around the bend.
Fancy video, right? So again, as far as presentations are concerned, kind of as you've seen and as we've been going through, this particular slide is a pretty busy slide. There's a lot of stuff going on. Most of the other ones were pretty simple. So when you're making those pitches, is what we refer to it, if you're trying to get somebody to buy into what it is that you want, then you need to make it very simple for them and very easy to look at. Even if I wasn't up here talking, you'd still be able to read those slides and figure out what it is that we're trying to get at. But as far as the auto part is concerned and innovation, like they were talking, the goal is to make people not get hurt, injured, die. Okay, I want that, everybody wants that. We insure cars. The only reason you're paying us in a lot of situations is because if you run into something, you can't afford the $15,000 or 48 grand, or if somebody really gets hurt, the $500,000. So we are insuring that. If cars become totally safe and never have any more accidents, do you need us? No, realistically you don't. Do we want everybody to be safe? Yeah, we do. But as far as that technology is concerned, that's something that we have a vested interest in. That's going to impact the business in the way we've been doing it for a long time. So we have to change and adapt. If we don't, we're going to go the way of the dinosaurs and Blockbuster. So here's some little graphs. As you can see, this is 1980. I know you can't read it in the back. Number of fatal crashes in the U.S. up at 45,000. I mean, car accidents happen every day, but when people actually don't survive it, yes, sir. Okay, well, I'll try and stay out of the way. But so then, as we come down here to 2013, we're down to 30,000. Okay, so that's 15,000 lives. That's 15,000 households, people that are still with us because cars are getting safer. So we want to be a part of that. A lot of you guys have that technology in your car right now. It might be blind spot avoidance, or it keeps you on the road. If you go over the white line, it beeps, that type of thing. My truck doesn't have any of that. I don't even have a backup camera. I don't even have electric seats now that I think about it. But in time, when you guys start driving, when your kids are driving, it's going to be a totally different arena. Yes, sir.
My dad actually set up his phone, because he also works at State Farm, so he thought, well, if I set up my phone on the windshield and it's actually able to tell him when he goes over the white line, or it can see if there's a blind spot and a car coming, he said then that'll just make it safer, and it will help my job, and it will help my company.
Right, right. And as far as the technologies that are there, man, it's crazy. There's crazy stuff that's out there. One of them is called LiDAR, okay, and it's basically radar. And so it can tell, like if you have new, expensive, lots of technology in your car, you set your cruise control, and if you get too close to somebody, the car automatically slows down. It brakes if bicyclists go out in front of you, that type of thing. So there's a lot of different technologies that are out there. And again, it's keeping him safer. And for us, that keeps us from needing to pay a claim. Does that mean that we need to lower the amount that you pay for insurance? Yeah, which means we don't get as much money, but we don't have to pay the claim. We don't have to pay the claims adjuster, or the person that comes and looks and says, yeah, you broke it. We don't have to pay their salary. We don't have to pay their benefits package, things like that. So I mean, there's just lots of implications other than I didn't run into that fire hydrant. One of the things that we're doing right now is we have a very vested interest in what's referred to as the Mobility Transformation Center, and that's up in Michigan. Okay, and basically what they did was they built a city.